College is an exciting time, but finding your place on campus can be tough. The first problem is it's hard for students to know where to start. Club week is extremely overwhelming. With so many clubs, it's impossible to get enough information to choose the right club. Moreover, some very cool clubs just have a hard time getting exposure, so most students end up not even knowing about them. Now, what if there was a solution that could simplify the process and connect students with the right clubs for them? Introducing UES Connect, an online platform designed to connect students and clubs together, making it easier for students to find and join clubs they're interested in. UES Connect's mission statement is to bring better visibility to clubs, create a seamless application process for both students and clubs, and eliminate bias in the application process. Here are some of the areas of focus that make UES Connect stand out from the rest. First, UES Connect has standardized applications, reducing confusion for students and taking the weight off clubs. No more scouring through different applications with different requirements. It's all in one place. Second, club executives now have an easy way to manage club members, information, and position postings. With UES Connects, managing clubs has never been easier. Third, UES Connect streamlines the selection process. We provide a straightforward interface to review applications, making it easier to select the right applicant for you. And lastly, UES Connect is a platform for all. All UES clubs are given an equal opportunity to attract talent, regardless of the size or popularity of the club. With UES Connect, clubs can now focus on what they do best, providing a positive and engaging environment for students to explore their interests and passions.
Thanks for that, Shehzer. So now we'll be talking about some of the technologies that we use. So Next.js was used on the front end for middleware and front end rendering. Tailwind CSS was used for front end styling. The GraphQL server that we had set up was used as the backend API layer. So instead of using Express, we opted for GraphQL because it gives the front end a nice type def schema that they can use. So querying becomes much less burdensome on the front end, and it's very quick. AWS S3 was used for file storage, so file upload and download. That was great to use as it's a free cloud service provided by Amazon, AWS. And then we use MongoDB for any persistent NoSQL type relational and non-relational databases that we needed. And then as for our deployment, we use Vercel as it is optimized for any Next.js app. So at the click of a button, you can just deploy, creates an automated CI/CD pipeline, and it completely hosts all of your GitHub repository for free. Moving on to the overall architecture. So as you can see here, we opted for a very modern architecture as we had kind of a strict budget constraint from the UES. So we had to keep costs as minimized as possible. So the clients obviously will be paying the servers. So we have a load balancer set up to basically split the load between two Vercel deployed servers. Right now we have test and production. And so with those two servers, it'll basically ping either of the GraphQL API layers on those two servers. And it will then automatically boot up a serverless function from the Vercel deployment that is the appropriate serverless function for the GraphQL endpoint that was requested by the client. And then this will either go and fetch something from the MongoDB and return it back to the client, do some business logic on that front, or it will potentially maybe upload something to the S3 bucket and then return the URL of the S3 bucket that the image or resume was uploaded to back to the client, where the client could then fetch back from the S3 bucket. So what we were trying to go here for was speed, reduced cost, and overall dependency with the load balancers and kind of the fail-safe servers that we have set up here. As well as this is completely scalable. So if this was to go to other universities, you could shard this MongoDB or add new Amazon S3 buckets if need be. And the serverless functions keep the cost very low. As for the database architecture, we opted for a NoSQL database structure because we knew that we were going to be doing a lot of prototyping and a lot of quick moving. So we didn't want something that was SQL based, where we had constantly need to rewrite the schema and drop collections. So we opted for a NoSQL diagram schema database, and this is the schema, the ER diagram that we have here. So top level user has a club. The club owns the positions and the club execs. And then each position has multiple applications that get submitted. And then this object right here, this is our file upload system. So each club will have like a logo, for example, an exec will have a headshot, and an application will have a resume. And so this just stores whatever the URL is from the S3 bucket so that we can go back and fetch that. Now I'll pass it off to Cole for further comments.
So our team focused on a few key areas to ensure the application operates smoothly. First, UES Connect aims to provide a clean and simplistic interface by using industry standard front-end functionalities, such as styled tables and cards, to make information easy to read and understand. We also utilize serverless functions to improve responsiveness and reduce server load. Second, security took a strong priority in development of UES Connect. Our team utilized security standards, including JWT tokens for login security and input sanitization to protect information stored in the database. Our S3 bucket is also secured through environment variables to protect user uploaded data. Next, utilizing Vercel's CI/CD pipeline, along with their integrated serverless functions, allowed our team to develop the UES Connect app with 100% availability, eliminating user frustration from downtime. Finally, utilizing Vercel and Docker, we are able to deploy our backend services across multiple servers to handle increased traffic demands as needed. Our team also faced many challenges while developing UES Connect, but here's some key challenges we've identified. So the first main challenge our team faced was implementing persistent file storage while using the GraphQL backend query language, as it's not equipped to handle file uploads. To solve this, we implemented a workaround utilizing S3 buckets and URL linking to handle the file upload, storage, and download process. In order to make an approachable user interface, which still included our site's functionality, it took us multiple iterations from the wireframe design to the final implementation to find a layout with the right balance. Next, determining the proper project configurations for deployment on Vercel was an issue that took a considerable amount of research and trial and error to solve. And finally, improper database structure early in this project's life cycle caused a number of issues with the relationships between objects, and this required us to refactor the database in the later stages of the project. So now I'll hand it off to Jasdeep to give you a run through of our project's implementation.
Hello, we are Group 16, and we are here to present to you UES Connect, a centralized platform to connect engineering students to engineering clubs. Let us start with the club executive portal. And I feel like the best way to show you this is to take a use case. So let's take John Anthony, a student that has just registered Western Chemical Engineering Club with the UES and the USC. John can reach out to an administrator at the UES in order to create an account. This user can log into the master portal and create John's account in order for him to build his club website. So let's go ahead and do that. The UES administrator can come to our site, click I'm a club executive, and log in with the master credentials. As you can see here, there are many different administrators associated with their clubs. And let's create one for John. So we can go ahead here and click add club credentials and enter in John's information. 123@gmail.com. His club is going to be Western Chemical Engineering Club. And the password that John reached out to the administrator to put in is John345. Awesome. We can go ahead and click confirm. And John's account has been created. So now John can take these credentials and log into the club portal in order to build out the structure of his club. Let's go ahead and do that. Go ahead and click log out and log in with John's credentials. 345. Awesome. Go ahead and click login. So this is the boilerplate template that every club will receive that starts out with their club name, and they can go ahead and start populating their information so that on the user side, users can view their information and find out more things about their club. So let's go ahead and set the department. A chemical engineering club would intuitively be with the chemical engineering department. And set a club logo. We can go ahead and choose a rocket, and then we can set a description. Best chemical engineers on campus. And we can go ahead and press save. With any club comes club executives, and John can go ahead and go to the edit team information in order to add the executives that are part of his club. So obviously, John is here, and let's say he takes on the role of the president. We can put in his year, his program, and a headshot for him. And go ahead and click save, and then John is here, and we know that John is a part of the club. We can go ahead and populate other executives as well. Let's say Sabrina Williams, which will take on the vice president of finance role. Go ahead and put her year, her program. So she's in software engineering, and upload her picture. Go ahead and press save. So there we go. Now we have a club that has a logo, its description, what department it's with, and some people in their club. I will now pass it off to Cole in order to go over the application functionality in which users can apply to positions at the club, and clubs can put out positions and also view the applications to the positions they have out.
So now being a club executive, I can go to the view positions page and create some position postings for my club. So we'll create a new position called President of Communications. And we'll add a description. We'll have 2 openings for this position. Add a couple questions. How many years of experience? And then we'll add a second question and we'll ask, how many followers do you have? Here we can specify a couple of skills that we'd like to see from applicants to the position. So we'll say leadership and maybe media skills. Now we can click create the position. Now we can see that our position posting has been created for the President of Communications role within our team. Now I'll pass it off to David to explain the student portal side of things.
I'll now walk through what it's like to be a student using UES Connect. I'll come to our landing page and then click I'm a student. From here, I'm on the student landing page and I get a modal that explains exactly how to use the site. It explains a couple features that are integral to using UES Connect, but I already know how to use them, so I will click close. This modal will only pop up the first time you enter the site as it is stored in local storage. Okay, so now I'm a user and I'm looking to apply to a club. I can now search up here for the clubs, and let's say I want to do Engineers Without Borders. I can come up here and Engineers Without Borders is right here. Also, we have a like feature, so we can essentially like clubs. So if I want to like Western Engineering Competition and the Western Chemical Engineering Club, I can like them and then store them for later and come up here and click View Liked to view only the liked clubs. Another thing I want to show is that if I click on a club, so undergraduate engineering society, I can come here and view the available positions. So it'll show all the positions, head of inclusion, vice president, the openings, the skills required, and links to apply to it. It also shows the executive team. I'm not going to apply from here. I'm going to show you one more thing. So there's another view we can see, which is if I come up here and click the browse clubs, it will swap into the browse positions view. The browse positions view shows every single position available on UES Connect instead of having them behind clubs. The reason we made this design choice to separate between browsing positions and browsing clubs is because we feel they're both use cases for students to discover new clubs and also to discover positions. So now if there's a position that excites me, let's say I want one that includes media skills. So here we have President of Communications, Western Chemical Engineering Club, includes media skills. I can click on it and it'll bring me directly to the application. Now I can fill out the application with my name, an email, how many years of experience I have, 3, and how many followers do I have, 4,500, and I can also upload my resume. Now I'll submit an application. I get a small pop-up, and then in a few minutes, I should expect an email to my inbox thanking me for my application and confirming I have been applied. I'll now pass it back to Cole, who will show from the club side the applications.
Thanks, David. So now we'll log back in as John, the club executive. And we'll go back to our position postings. And here we can see again our president of communications position that we've posted. Here we have a variety of actions that we can take on this position. So we're able to edit it if we would like to edit it in the future or now. We're also able to see all the details of the position without the ability to edit. As well as here, we're able to see applications for this position. So now we can see this application that David has just created. We can click on the eye icon to view all the details. We can see his answers to the questions, as well as the capability to download his uploaded resume here. And we can see it download in the bottom left corner there. And that's it from this side of the application.
Thanks for the demo, guys. And thank you for everybody for following along. We truly hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing your comments. Thanks. Have a great day.